There's that old adage that the person who's driving too slow is a geezer that needs to get off the road. The person who's driving past you is just totally nuts, and they need to be taken off the road as well. Moving that to your particular story, I mean, you finally said enough is enough. But you're looking around at other Democratic voters, other Jewish Democratic voters, and you say, well, essentially, why aren't you coming with me? Do you understand why it's kind of taken so long, given your own circumstances?
I absolutely understand, and let me say that I disagree with Trump on a tremendous amount. Most of his policies, actually, I disagree with him on. I believe in a woman's right to choose. I believe in some variation of the Green New Deal, a progressive taxation, a $15 minimum wage. These are not Republican Party policies. They do not have this in their platform. But at the end of the day, we're facing an existential crisis, not just in the Middle East, but as American Jewry. And I've criticized the Republican Party. I walked out publicly and proudly when Tucker Carlson was given a standing ovation at the Republican convention. I called out Trump Jr. when he was set to appear on a panel with Candace Owens. I will continue to do that. I'm not a partisan hack. I'm still a Democrat. I hope to vote for Democrats in the future. But there needs to be some recognition that in the short term, we really have to vote for our interests. And I think our interests as a Jewish American are pretty clearly aligned with President Trump.
Jewish Americans typically have said, the ones that vote Democrat, listen, we care about Jewish values, we care about Israel, but we also care about the basic values and the basic interests and the kitchen table issues that everybody else cares about. On that front, we're not much different than the average American. Do you feel right now that American Jewry as a whole, especially those that vote Democrat, should be looking more weightily at Israel? And
I would say to American Jewry, I also agree with you on the kitchen table policies. I agree with you on inflation and on the economy and immigration. Absolutely. When there are 8 American hostages, or excuse me, when there are 7 now, because one of them, of course, Hersh Goldberg Poland, was killed. When there are 7 American hostages still being held in the terror tunnels of Gaza, this is a life and death. It is literally a life and death issue. And Kamala Harris has not articulated a single plan or policy that would get them out, other than just saying the word ceasefire. Hamas rejected every single ceasefire. There's no ceasefire on the table because Hamas rejected it. They won't even come to the table. So you want to talk about, you disagree with Trump's inflation policy, you disagree with his policy on immigration, I would probably agree with you. But there are 7 American Jewish hostages who cannot rely on a President Kamala Harris simply saying the word ceasefire.
We tend, everybody does, especially in the social media age, tend to live within our own bubbles, and it's difficult to hear outside voices. Based on your own dealings with the Jewish community, your own friends, your own family, your own associates, do you see a similar movement away from the Democratic Party?
So I've been privileged to speak across the country these last 10 months. I've been really all over the country meeting with all different types of communities, mostly Jewish communities, and the amount of people who've told me quietly, look, I'm a Democrat, but I'm going for Trump. It's a significant amount of them. And we know the polling suggests that Trump will receive the most votes of any Republican president since Dwight Eisenhower. And I do think you'll see that being reflected in November. A significant amount of Jews are migrating to the Republican Party. It probably won't be permanent. I'm not permanent. I'm happy to go back to the Democrats, which is what I've been saying since day one. But certainly as it pertains to Trump, you'll see a lot of Jewish voters going for him because we've been so alienated from our own party. And this is why it took me so long to come out and support him, because I waited for months. I waited for any signal that the Democrats would be interested in alleviating our concerns, and we were just wrong every single time.
Other than the occasional heckle of what took you so long, as we heard there today, do you feel the Republican Party has kind of welcomed folks like you that are kind of not sure where to go right now?
Well, look, the far left are super angry with me, so I can't have the right-wingers also upset with me. I think Republicans are understanding that even though I disagree, and there are thousands of new Jewish voters who disagree with their kitchen table policies, we're ready to support their nominee for president in November because he has addressed our concerns. What that means for the future, I don't know. It's we're living in a democracy. We have an open competition of ideas. That's what the free market is all about. I'm happy to hear from Democrats and Republicans what their ideas are for this country and for our people. But I've made up my mind for November, and